There you go. Zoom out. There you go.
Like a kitten drinking milk. Just, no regard of its own life.
It's the kids
And
with like
I'm
the Gatorade or whatever. After
Have you seen that one?
and then I was playing, and then Johnny came over and ran over. And he pushed me.
There's one, the kid does that. And his
White
eye,
t-shirts just.
he has a lazy eye. And she goes, use both your eyes. And he goes, "Whoa," brings it back in. He's like,
And then he ran and he fell, and there was dog poop, and he smelled it.
so anyways, he's dead.
I worked myself up right there. You should see this
you
boner.
are too? Yeah.
Hey guys, welcome to the Hype Attack Podcast.
where we weigh in on the latest in nerd and pop culture hype.
We
We're the excited conversation we all have with our friends.
About the nerdy things we love.
And geek about. We are
Rudy's in my mind, stop swallowing.
Both those can be an intro. Who is introing it?
Right
okay.
here.
Nice. All right, good. I'm paying attention.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Hype Attack Podcast, where we weigh in on the latest in nerd and pop culture hype. I'm Isaac, and joining me once again, coming from around the table, are Douglas,
Hello,
Jermaine, and Rudy. And I'm excited because we get to talk about movies. More importantly, and the reason why I'm wearing this little fancy getup is because we're talking summer movies. Yeah, crack a beer and let's get fucking hyped, dog. I had a lot of caffeine. I was tired for most of the day. But anyways, before we get into the movies, before we get into the movies, if you haven't done so already, follow us on social media at The Hype Attack on Instagram and TikTok. And like I said, you can watch the full video episodes that Rudy works so darn hard to make look beautiful. Seriously, the last episode, what did we cover?
Invincible.
Invincible.
No,
I was gonna pop up.
I don't have that queued up anymore. I burned that file to the ground. I'm like, that was enough.
that was a fucking fun episode. But you can watch all of those. He has a season and a half backlogged at the hype with youtube.com/the Hype Attack Podcast. Yeah. Anyhow, on to you guys. Shut my mic off.
What do you mean on to us? You're introing because this is right in your wheelhouse.
Summer movies.
Sorry.
There's movies coming out as Hollywood does.
I came in really hot.
Our yearly. We did it all. We've done it all 3 seasons, haven't we?
Yeah. So
a summer movie rundown.
We'll keep it as like in the nerd realm as possible. And as I look at our list, like most of these movies are pretty nerdy. I'll mention a horror film here and there, but for the most part, like everything is either a Disney thing, a fucking superhero thing, something like I'm excited all of these to watch.
A
honestly,
remake thing, a continuation thing.
yeah, but not as bad as last year. Last year was like the year of reboots, requels, and cycles, and everything in between. This is just a touch. As I'm looking through it, let me just
the 23rd Mission Impossible is on there.
I'm excited for
The
that.
23rd and final, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've seen bad reviews though.
Really?
What?
Yeah.
Come on, there's not been a bad.
I think I've
Spoilers.
seen reviews
I
of
know.
like the stakes were too high and the action, of course, was great.
It was too impossible.
I was about to say all the promotion they're putting behind the stunts in this movie. Like that's a long way to fall.
Yeah, but I mean, ultimately,
If this movie
A
doesn't
movie's
have
gotta be
Tom
more than
Cruise
the stunts.
running as fast as he can into
Always.
the sunset,
They included
I'm disappointed.
into the sunset though. They always include it in like the trailers.
have
He's
seen-
running in this one for sure. He's good.
I have seen people making the argument that Tom Cruise is a really good actor and he's got a lot of range, and
Yeah.
it's a shame that his final years are going to be him just running and doing
still
some crazy
fucking do
stuff.
it.
It's amazing the stunts that he does, and admirable and respectful. But he's also a really good actor that can do a lot, and it's a shame to kind of see that lost.
Speaking of stunts, it's a shame that they're going to start giving out awards for stunts.
It's a shame.
No, because
As he fades out.
after a lot
yeah.
of big time, like Jackie Chan, like if they don't give like honorable mentions,
Right,
or,
right.
something,
Like
to say like these people paved the way.
Lifetime achievement and
Yeah.
stunts.
It's a really good idea. If they don't do it, we can do it.
We will.
Yeah,
We'll invite them.
yeah, we'll invite them. Yeah,
Invite them to the room.
Yeah.
to the
Crazy,
studio.
though.
They can get in here.
All these years,
They can
and
have a
they
Kona.
never-
I know it's supposed to be one one
Shot him alert.
particular category where they're supposed to start giving the awards now for like
Yeah,
best
there's
stunts or
the
whatever.
stuntman and which is good.
Well, dude, after like watching the Thunderbolts / New Avengers, like, oh, that's what it looks like again. You to quote you, Doug, is like, oh, it looked like a movie. You know, not to like rehash and recap that, but like that is what stunts look like that are actually in camera. Nothing like very rare. Few things are in post. Like, let's bring that the fuck back. Which is why I'm excited to see Mission Impossible, even if the story isn't strong or whatever. It's too it's Mission Impossible or. Like, I'm pretty sure the actions, I'm going to be locked in with it.
Who watches the Mission Impossible movies for the story, really, though? You're there for the action.
Yeah. I mean, like, there's been 8, 7?
Probably.
I don't know what the number is. I don't remember
Yes.
much of the stories at all. I need to watch like a YouTube recap or something like that.
These missions can't be that impossible if they've done 8 of these movies already.
That's true. They just get more and more impossible.
Mission Improbable.
No, because they're going to get into a crossover where it's going to be Fast and the Furious
Yeah.
versus Mission
But those are
Impossible.
ridiculous.
I really hope that's going to be 2028. I'm calling it. Just
that 8?
Fast
Yeah.
and the Furious.
Who said 8 in the first place?
I said a few numbers. Is it the 8th?
I think so.
Nice. Now, is this actually the final or is it the first part of a final?
No, isn't the last two were like a two like a
Oh,
duology?
is this the second part
Like a
of the
continuing-
final?
Yeah.
this is the
Yeah,
second
I
part.
think after this, he's going in a spaceship and finally leaving our planet.
So it's like the Deathly Hallows Part 2.
That's going to be his
gonna
final.
run-
His final stunt is literally going to be on Mars.
He's gonna retire back to Oprah's couch and just like
He's running to
the
Mars.
sun
yo.
sets on a grateful universe.
He'll watch us like the Space Odyssey, baby. Anyways,
Yeah. All right, so that comes out in May, early
yeah,
summer.
next week. I'm so
Next
excited
month?
to
This
see
month?
that.
May 23rd.
God
Got-
damn
got
it!
my
it's
tickets
May.
next
This
week.
month. Nice. That's exciting.
What else?
Oh, I'm looking at the list. I'm looking
Can
at
we-
the list. Real quick, Final Destination. I'm hearing good things.
Yeah, can we jump into that cult classic?
I'm all over the place because I saw like the second trailer and I was like, okay, maybe whatever. Because the other ones were like after 2, they were just kind of all went downhill.
That
So
happens
I
with
have-
horror
It
I have-
became a guilty pleasure.
I haven't
Who's
kept up with these
watching that for
movies.
the story.
Yeah, exactly. I haven't
Kill
kept
Cam.
up with these movies, but didn't they like kind of like wrap up the last one like into the first one? Like, wasn't there some kind of like, oh, this is where it all comes full circle?
But movie
Like, I
magic,
swear to-
movie magic.
I swear to God, I saw
Yeah.
like a YouTube clip of that. Like, watch how Final Destination 58 wraps the entire
But now
franchise.
they're going into Bloodline.
Yeah, I can see it. It's got what's her name? Breck Bessinger, Stargirl. She's in it, so I'm interested.
Yeah, no, we're gonna watch that. Saturday probably.
Nice.
Gotta
So that's
take-
May also.
Yeah, we got tickets for Lilo and Stitch. Okay, you know what? Real quick, like the Disney things, right? Lilo and Stitch, and then How to Train Your Dragons. Let's just like lump those together as far as like.
How to Train Your Dragons isn't Disney.
I'm sorry, that's DreamWorks.
Yeah.
You're right. But as far as like the
Live action remakes,
adaptation,
yeah.
you go. Why? I mean, we're still gonna see it, but I'm very curious what we're gonna gain from that. Because Snow White, I mean, Disney itself. I know DreamWorks is different, but Disney itself was like. The only good thing that came out of that pile of garbage that was Snow White is that we're putting a halt in all these live action adaptations. So thank you, Snow White, for doing that. And did you hear about their re-release?
No. Fucking enlighten me. There's a re-release
They
of works?
re-released it to like over 1,000 theaters, and like 1 or 2 people saw it per theater.
I'm like, for fucking what?
I don't. They probably thought like, well, maybe we were competing with some, other movies. No,
Like,
it
oh,
sucked.
let's let the social media hype die down, and then we'll pull it back up. And be like,
Social
people
media
will
is still
forgot.
getting hurt. You know how many videos I see?
Yeah, those AI memes are around.
The live action stuff, I mean, it's interesting from, I guess, a technological point of view. And I don't, I'm interested in How to Train Your Dragon because I never watched the cartoons. And I guess there's
Same.
that aspect of like, some people are just very much not fans of cartoons.
a
And
good
so bringing in actors and actresses that people know and you can actually see them, I think that could bring a lot to the IP. So something like How to Train Your Dragon, there's a lot of people that probably never watched the cartoon, maybe not even heard of it, and they'll watch that. And then even Lilo and Stitch, I never watched the cartoon. I will probably watch the live action because it looks decent, and that'll be my first like introduction into it. I do think though that like they shouldn't just be making them for the point of making them. Like unless they're going to switch things up. Yeah, or do the prequel thing, like
Yeah.
the latest Mufasa movie or whatever, right? Like that was like was it a prequel to Lion King? I don't know if it was good or not.
It was a prequel, and it was all right.
No, yeah, it was. I didn't like it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know, but I like the idea of like, okay, you can use live action maybe to expand on the story that already
Yeah,
exists,
right.
or switch things up. I know everyone got mad at them like casting a black Little Mermaid, but like I think that might be the way to go too. It's like, all right, it's the same story, but we're gonna change it up. We're gonna do things something different, and now you can have the two stories existing at the same time.
I feel like Disney should. I'm 50-50 with this because they mess with my heartstrings a little bit. But if Disney wants to do live action things, whether or not whether, but like unique live action stories, I say they can, but they shouldn't do, which I probably mentioned, and we talked about that. Like for some reason when they make live action stuff, I always say they Pirates of the Caribbean it up, right? Right? It's like a fun, playful movie, that has, like a lot of actions and, like stunts and things. And that works for that franchise, granted, even though I like the first one was probably the best one out of that entire series. And then it started to get kind of like most movies, all the exaggeration stuff, and it kind of starts
Falls
to
apart.
like like the Fast and the Furious, Mission Impossible. It just becomes a lot. But they tried it with the John Connor, aka Princess of Mars, what it should have been called, and then my Prince of Persia.
Don't get him started on it again.
My Prince of Persia. But it's like I feel those movies are guilty pleasures for me. They still kind of hurt when I do watch them, But it's one of those things like you can have something, from like a property, like what they did with Harry Potter, and Lord of the Rings. There's property out there that exists that has large fan bases. Like if they want to continue doing like live action stuff, there's a lot of material. They came out with all these, fairy tales and all these things like that was somebody else's story, and then they just made it into a cartoon. They could do the same thing.
And like for books, it makes more sense, to do something like that because all that information is there. But it's so different when it's like an animated movie. Even like How to Train Your Dragons. You're like, well, it's already a CG thing. Let's just make it a little bit more real. So I mean, my prediction for those is you watch them and you go, okay, that was what it looks like in live action. Cool. You're right. Unless they do something a little bit different. Not like Snow White different, where they bastardize the whole fucking thing. Like I actually like, like the race change for Little Mermaid. Like that made sense. If those things make sense within the realm of that world and part of your world, but that then do that. But like a Snow White, that was a complete bastardization of the whole fucking story, and it just kind of, I don't know if it just didn't work because it was live action, but there's just so much involved with that. I don't know, but
I haven't seen it, so I don't know what all they bastardized. But at the end of the day, I mean, a lot of those old Disney movies, a lot of old Disney content is full of old tropes, racism, sexism, misogyny, all of that stuff. That maybe it's like, don't remake it.
Oh, I was gonna say. Oh, I thought that was a reason to to make it.
No,
I was on board.
But what's crazy about Disney
dumb.
is, I mean, I think we've talked about it, and I've always wondered. It's like they have these iconic characters like Mickey, Goofy, Donald Duck, and like they haven't had any sort of movie made, at least at the mainstream level, with those characters. And I just read, I think they got a new comic book out that's like Walt Disney's Mickey Mouse and the Lost something. God damn it, I just looked it up. Short-term memory loss. Don't drink, kids.
That's true.
Walt Disney's Mickey Mouse and the Amazing Lost Ocean, and I've heard it's a really good comic. And I was looking at some of the panels, and it's really cool. And it's like this like eco-punk story about like almost a post-apocalyptic world where like these like the crew is eco adventurers, and like you can come up with stories for comics for like a Mickey Mouse movie. Like do that. I don't want to get too sidetracked. I know we got a lot of stuff to cover, but
real quick, so. One of the greatest Disney movie of all time, Goofy movie.
Yeah, there you go.
I was about to say because
they're going to be in the next Lorcana set.
It's celebrating an anniversary right now, and like people are on Goofy's dick right
Disney,
now.
30
Yuck.
years.
Hyperion Theater,
Yuck.
Powerline concert.
Oh yeah.
Hyperion Theater Powerline concert, the world will come. That's money, money, money. But anyways,
Jermaine,
so
Lightburn merch coming at you.
I watched a little bit of that. Not just a goof.
Oh, that's
the
right. Yeah,
documentary that's on Disney Plus. I'll probably finish it tonight because I just started it last night.
Is it a documentary or a docuseries?
A documentary series, whatever you want to say. It's just all the behind the scenes of like how the movie came about.
I think it's just a one-off.
The actual director and all that stuff. But they were talking about they were in competition with at the time because Disney had just come off like the Little Mermaid high, like Beauty and the Beast and all that stuff, and then this movie idea came around, but everybody knew Goofy as that like skit character, and then yes, you had Goof Troop, but he was still that character. But while they were coming up with the story, they were just trying to figure out like how can we write Goofy in like a series like this that we can kind of humanize him to kind of tell the story.
Yeah.
And then they, figured it out. But then they came up with the story, and the guy who does Goofy's voice, he did it in the traditional Goofy voice. Then they showed it to who I forget the guy's name, but the Disney
Walt
exec.
Disney.
And then he was like, what if we give Goofy a normal voice, like speaking your normal voice?
Oh no.
And they were like,
Which, by the way, Bill Farmer, the voice of Goofy,
Yeah.
already kind of sounds like
Yeah.
Goofy.
So
Yeah.
they did it, took him back in the booth, re-recorded the whole movie, and they came back.
No way.
And they showed it to him, and he was like, the guy who they got to direct the movie, like he was like, honestly, I don't really like it. Like it
Honestly,
doesn't
I was
work.
high and I was drunk.
Yeah. So it's just one of those things.
Wow.
Yes, they have all this, these characters, but a lot of people, for some reason, in Disney, like you have all these headliners, but for some reason they don't feel like they can carry the weight like in the movie theater. Because even when they came out with DuckTales the movie didn't do good in theaters, and then DuckTales the movie came out before a Goofy movie, so they had that to deal with, like, what if this movie doesn't hit?
Gun shy.
Then we, make another flop. But
Kingdom Heart fans,
I was just about to say that.
would like to have a word with that, because obviously Kingdom Hearts was that mixture. If you don't know, it's a video game with Square Enix characters and Disney characters, and it's basically like Final Fantasy characters teaming up with Mickey, Donald, Goofy, and all the rest. And
Never has Mickey Mouse looked like such a badass as he does in this game series. And like, I'm a fan. Like, I don't think I made it past 2.5, whatever fucking version that was. I haven't played 3, but of the series on a whole, like, I really liked it, what I played. And like, I'm like, why are they so shy about like letting these characters like do stuff like that? Like, I don't understand it either.
Have you seen
Or like an anthology series, but
Have you seen how far the pendulum has swung the other way as far as Mickey being a badass with like the Mickey and Friends cartoons? They ask him, like, for example, we'll have to like find clips, but there's one. They go, "Who's Minnie?" He goes, "My girlfriend." So he's just a completely unhinged.
I mean, yeah, this
No. It's unhinged as shit. It's great. I love it.
Kids shit is always unhinged.
Not that Mickey was never like that.
Like, kids always have to be exaggerated too, to like,
You haven't
to
seen
get
that
their points across. No, I haven't seen it, so I can't
so
comment
good.
it. And the clip will play here.
Wait, who is Minnie?
She's my girlfriend.
What else do you need to do for this?
That's my favorite.
But
I
yeah,
know they did it with our Disney Afternoon stuff. They did it with our Disney Afternoon because
What happened?
they had their classic characters, and then you got one of my favorite shows of all time, Disney cartoons, Tailspin.
Oh,
You had DuckTales. And then what everybody and their mom was probably waiting for, besides a Power Line concert. I'm gonna keep plugging that in until the day I die. But let's get a live action Gargoyles.
Oh yeah.
Can we make that happen already?
Okay,
Or
so
Darkwing Duck.
to wrap
Is
up
that
like
Disney also?
to wrap up
Darkwing Duck.
I think
the
he's going to be in the next Lorcana settles also.
Darkwing Duck is one of my favorite
Let's get dangerous.
Disney characters. Period.
to wrap up the live action discussion. So what annoys me about some of these, the ones that we mentioned, is so like Lilo and Stitch. That one came out. Jesus, what's the math on that one? 20 years ago? Like it came out a while ago.
I think it was like just after 9/11 because they had to reanimate a scene.
Fuck, that's right. But so, like when they're doing something that was recent, like they're gonna do Moana. Well, again, everyone's gonna see, but you're doing a live action of that. It's like that.
Yeah, that's pretty
I feel
recent.
like that just came out. But when you're doing a live action of a cartoon that was, popular in the 90s and shit like that, then let's do that as a way to introduce people to that IP. Like I dig that.
Yeah, Lilo and Stitch was 2002.
Damn.
Yeah.
Speaking of IPs,
and now my hip hurts.
and it's gonna hurt more. The Karate Kid. You guys excited to see Karate Kid, where they're mashing together the Jackie Chan?
Everything's a
Jaden
multiverse
Smith.
now, or whatever. Or shared
Even
universe.
that.
Shared universe Karate Kid.
Fucking world building the Karate
It
Kid.
looks
I
really
love
good
it.
though. I'm excited for it, and I'm glad that they got a kid that's new to be the Karate Kid.
I mean,
And
I think
he
to see
looks like a
Jackie Chan
badass.
again too.
Yeah.
that kid he popped up on Corridor Digital, the stunt.
I
Guys
am
react.
a fan of the Netflix Cobra Kai series.
You
So-
finished the whole thing?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Good.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, if you like that genre,
It got a little
that, like,
Disney for me.
it's a teen show, so
Yeah.
it's not really gonna.
Started strong. Started
Yeah,
really
like,
strong.
It's just one of those things. Like it was a fun series, but like I'm saying, so because I'm a fan of the series, I'll probably watch the movie. I don't know if I'm gonna run out to go see the movie, but it's just one of those things. Like I'm interested in it. Plus, like
I
you
think
said,
just seeing Jackie Chan. Yeah, Jackie Chan's gonna bring me in the theater.
If Hilary Swank doesn't cameo in this bitch, I'm gonna riot. Single man.
Was a Karate Kid.
Yes.
Has
single person
she
riot.
shown up in Cobra Kai yet at all? Or
No,
I don't think so.
No,
Really? After all this time, they haven't.
her story's completed. After she was done with karate, she then went into boxing and then snapped her neck, and then Clint Eastwood on the live there.
$1 million man.
You know,
Multiverse.
Canon.
you add that to the. You haven't seen that list for me.
Oh,
I never
boy.
saw $1 Million Baby.
All right, we're doing it. After this, I know you had to sleep, but we're gonna cover it. So yeah, that one.
That trailer like hooked me from the very first one they released. I was like, okay,
For Karate
I'm
Kid.
I'm on board.
Yeah.
with this.
That trailer was really well done.
Yeah.
Just as long as they don't, there's not a lot of who's that one bitch? Oh yeah, Will Smith got you again. His son. Just not a lot of that shit, please.
Isn't the kid in there? I don't remember his name. Excuse me, because I don't remember his name. But didn't he play Zuko in Avatar, the Netflix live action
Oh,
series?
let's look it up. Is
Ben
Jermaine
Wang?
racist?
Flat answer to that is yes.
Hold on.
For a Karate Kid.
I thought it was a new kid.
That's what I heard. Ben
is a new
Wang.
kid.
Ben Wang. American boy, Chinese long walk.
Ben Wang.
Yeah.
'Cause I could be wrong.
He didn't play.
I see
Oh,
Hunger Games. I see a new Hunger Games that hasn't released yet.
All right, spending too much time on this.
Bob's Burger. American boy,
In the
Chinese.
end.
They all look the same
Nope.
with Jermaine.
He was the new MacGyver, right,
The
apparently.
new MacGyver?
Yeah.
No.
2021 MacGyver.
Then I guess I'm wrong.
He's in a movie called Chang Can Dunk.
Perfect. Amazing.
American-born Chinese.
American-born Chinese, which I hear was pretty good.
Oh,
My client's a
maybe-
producer in that.
Maybe that's
I know people.
Mean Girls,
The musical.
2024. I'm assuming.
I forgot about that. That came and went. No one talks about it. That's what happens.
Who's a horror fan? I know Rudy, you're
Yeah.
not.
So now hold on. We've established Jermaine is racist.
I need to keep
Could you put a stamp on the
keep a tally.
racist?
Yeah, no, that's not him.
It happens. The other day, I was talking about Andor, and I was trying to think of Forrest Whitaker's name, and I was just like, "Oh God, don't be racist! Don't be racist!" I couldn't think of it. I was going through them all.
Oh wow.
All like 5 of them. And I was like,
What
fuck.
name did he think?
Denzel. No.
Samuel? No, not Samuel Jackson.
What's his son's name? Oh, I don't know.
Yeah,
Holy shit.
yeah. I felt bad about that. I had to look it up. I was like, Forrest Whitaker. All right. That is him,
Talk
right?
about-
That
talk-
is Saw Gerrera. Am I good?
Talking about not seeing the forest for the trees, man.
Wow. I want to move it right along. Rudy, you
were
don't
saying
like
something about
horror
horror,
films. Jermaine and Doug, you guys into horror films?
Yeah.
For the most part.
Yeah, I've kind of
You should
toned down a
know
little
that.
bit,
You
but
should know that, man.
Off mic, we talked about that the makers of this movie, Bring Her Back, which is coming out at the end of this year, and I'm pretty excited, end of this month, I'm very excited to see because these are the guys that made Talk to Me. So this is
That's what I'm
A24
saying.
Studios,
Yeah.
which like took me by surprise as far as making horror films that aren't predictable. That's the tough part about horror films. You know, whether it's a vampire or a ghost or a cursed object, you know where the beats are. But A24, specifically these guys, like, you know, kind of circumvented the subverted expectations. And the basis of this story is kind of like a Pet Cemetery. You know, one of the people get brought back from the dead, and they're maybe not all there.
that's cool.
So-
I need to check out the trailer for it. I think
Trailer.
I've seen a poster and it looked creepy. So
And yeah,
I'm
so
down for it.
trailer locked me in. But just since we're talking about horror towards the end of the summer, August 8th, there Julia Garner is going to star in one called Weapons, and I forgot who the fuck directed it. Son of a bitch, the guy that did Barbarian.
That's
Zach
yeah,
Krager.
that's what
There
I
you
was-
go.
I knew it was someone that of a
Barbarian
movie I liked.
Was a good one.
Interesting basis of a movie like Barbarian, just a really interesting concept, and you don't know where it's going to go, so it zigs and zags. This one, the plot of this one is Julie Gardner is a teacher, and all the students in her classroom just up and leave in the middle of the night, and everyone's like blaming her. Looks creepy, looks
Yep.
weird. It's
Teachers and their propaganda.
it's a
No
properly
problem with it.
I
it's a
think I
properly
did see a preview for that.
Joking.
I
I did
like
like the trailer. So
trailers to especially horror films where they present the mystery and you go, yeah, I want to know what the answer to that question is, which is going to get my ass in that seat, as opposed to like just showing a whole fucking movie. Like trailers have been garbage lately, but
Horror movies,
films,
especially the trailers, like it's a tricky thing with the trailers because it's like some of them, I feel like, oh, you just showed me all the kills.
yeah.
Like, and sometimes it's tricky, right? A good trailer maker can be tricky where you think you saw a kill, but maybe you didn't. But I feel like a lot of times it's like, all right, well, I know what's gonna happen there.
I don't watch horror movies, but every time I see a trailer and I see anyone get killed, I'm like, well, there's a major moment from the movie because I mean,
Yeah, a lot of times it is
Even
a
Alien
trick.
Romulus did that.
But yeah, Alien Romulus did. I think did a little too. Yeah, and it's kind of.
I mean,
it's kind of a
granted,
shame.
it was to like a third, tertiary character, like was barely even a side character. But what was there's a one that came out Valentine's Day, which was a fun slasher. I think you would enjoy that one. It was a fun slasher B-level horror film that like leaned in on itself and it being like silly. And same thing in the not that like you were like looking for those kills, but it did it a couple of times in the trailer. You're like, don't do that.
Yeah, I try not to think about it, but every once in a while, the scene setup triggers my memory of like, oh, that was from the trailer. Oh, that's going to happen. Oh, there it is. And that really sucks when that happens.
And for any and just a quick mention for any Wes Anderson fans, The Phoenician Scheme. I don't know what the fuck that one's about. It's Wes Anderson. Usually people are like, it's him. I'm gonna go see it.
Oh, I saw that trailer and my first reaction is this another AI bullshit? Because people were making all sorts of Wes Anderson AI shit.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, apparently. That's what I learned from that. I hate it. I hate this world. I hate it here.
I saw a still from that, and I'm like, oh, it's a Wes Anderson movie because it's the way it looks.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's him.
Yeah. Or
It's all his like usual cast of people. Going back to action then, in June 6th, Ballerina. Who's hyped? Who's excited for that?
Oh, I want to see that.
Yeah, pants
Yeah, I'm
on,
on this.
pants
Oh.
optional.
Yeah,
I wanna
no,
see
look,
that.
anytime Ana de Armas does a movie, I love it because she's on Instagram constantly in my algorithm for like 2 or 3 months. Sorry to perv out.
No.
Sorry to be horny on Maine. That's an old Tumblr reference here. Yeah, no, it looks really good. I'm excited for it. I hope they could do the John Wick spinoff because obviously Keanu Reeves can't do it forever, though they announced a new one.
And he's in this one too.
Yeah, he does pop up in this, and
between
I think
part
that's
3
kind
and
of a
4 or
cool way to do, like to bring back a character that you
he's the
killed
Baba
off.
Yaga. He can
Spoilers.
pop up anytime he wants.
Yeah,
There he is. Ooh. I feel like there's a lot of weight on its shoulders because like this isn't the first time that there's been a spin-off from the John Wick franchise. Was it Peacock or whatever? Did the Continental that didn't work too
Yeah,
well?
Peacock. I mean, they've done Twisted Metal. That's all I can really give them.
Was that good?
I love the Twisted Metal series. Yeah,
I think everyone's just ignoring the Continental. Everyone's like, "Oh, it's out there," but we're not really associated with that. So we'll be over here.
I think since good.
Isn't what's his name supposed to get? Hold on, I'm mentioning somebody else, but isn't Donnie Yen supposed to be getting a spinoff?
Yes, he's getting his own.
make sure it's actually
The
Donnie
blind-
Yen and not another Asian actor.
That's why I said hold
Jackie
on.
Chan.
That's why I
Jet
said hold on.
Li.
Make sure I get this right.
Sorry.
It's actually Ben Wang. Dear God, what's wrong with you?
Sammo Hung. No, it's not
He's
gonna be there.
unstoppable.
Yeah, called Kane, right? Yeah.
But I hope those are successful because everyone obviously fell in love with John Wick. Like John Wick did something to the action film, where it's like it feels more real. They cared about the action, the gunplay, the martial arts, even though still making it look great for Hollywood's eyes. But
And
it
then
did
we
something.
will get a animated series, correct, about like his impossible job.
Oh yeah, they announced that. I don't know if that's
they
actually
announced that.
still in the
So
pipeline, but that
Was
was
there a
announced.
trailer to
If
that?
that comes out, I'm definitely excited for that.
I don't think so.
Why do I feel like I saw like an animated
I don't
trailer to
feel
a
like
John
that.
Wick thing?
It's interesting because, like you said, John Wick definitely sparked that good, like, kind of old school action thing. But, like, can't we just make more action movies? Does everything need to be tied into this? I mean, and we have Nobody, which is
I
on our
feel
list
like
also.
it's,
But
it's mainly because of what we all talk about. It's the world building.
yeah,
The first movie gave you these little crumbs about this world, and I was like, I'll take that.
with the
because-
occasional.
It gets you interesting because you see these
Oh,
guys
John Leguizamo.
and there's killers. But you have like a rule of
too spicy.
conduct. Like you have the Continental, then they got the money thing, and then nobody's allowed to kill anybody. So nobody's allowed to kill anybody inside the Continental. But there's rules and regulations. And there's you have like the underground people. It's such a very creative world where it is one of those that I could see why it has all these spinoffs. But even if they came out with for me, like another, like a series or even a comic book, or dare I say like a video game. But if it was somebody else besides
Video game shit.
John Wick, I would be very interested in it because of the world. Like, I don't really care that John Wick isn't in it. It's because of that, like that beautiful world that they created. So I'm hooked. Like I'm interested.
Which is why I think that whatever other spin-off movies have a lot of responsibility to maintain that. I mean, even though we don't talk about the content.
but be different enough,
Correct.
right? So it's
Yeah.
a matter of exploring
you know
because
how the internet is.
any world such as our own has so many different angles and perspectives, and so I think that's the goal. Is like,
great point,
okay,
yeah.
John Wick established this cool world with the Continental and all of that. Like, can Ballerina give us a different perspective or a different angle to that?
Because basically, that's the interesting part with John Wick. It's like it's this world, yes, but he's the worst of the worst, the bad of the bads. What about everybody else?
Yeah.
How does that play out in there? Yeah, so I'm interested in that.
Yeah.
Shit, I was gonna say something else and I totally blanked out.
Can I pee?
Let's be.
All right, and we'll come up with a good idea too.
pee, buddy. Clean.
That you were saying that like, there hasn't been like why can't they just make action movies? Some of those have come out, like Bullet Train. Same thing, world building, assassins, whatever. And then just recently, last week, and I still have to put the review up at YGST Pod, is Fight or Flight, Josh Hartnett. Same thing,
Have a fucking
Haven't even
stroke.
heard of it.
I always want to say Josh Hartnett. It didn't get a lot of promotion. In fact, the budget was like $5 million. It was a first-time director. Really well done. It was one of the stunt supervisors was the person that helped out with John Wick. So the action looks really good. How it's shot, stories, whatever. But just a little, the review on it. But it's one of those things where like I go, wow, I expected nothing of this movie, and like this is pretty good. Like
That's cool.
Give it a 75%.
It's good to know that they're still out there.
Just from the trailer, it looked like a fucking straight rip off of Bullet Train.
Yeah, it was derivative and inspired by all of these things without, and kind of leaning into it without being like, no, this is our own thing. It's like, no, we know what we're doing. They're just, sort of just twisting it around and making our own thing. It's a lot of fun.
Oh, well, now I'm going to see that.
Nice. And it redeemed Josh Hartnett for me. So like he could commit to a role that showed me.
Don't fall for it. That's a trap.
The last shot in the mouth he gave you was from Trap. So I mean, the only direction he could follow is up.
Yeah, but that showed me.
Was
that,
it a sequel prequel? Was that his beginning of the Butcher?
Oh boy, I think so. He suffered some head trauma, maybe, but they did leave it open ended. So, but it kind of proved to me that like it was him committing to whatever direction he was given, which was M. Night Shyamalan's direction, being a fucking terrible actor, whatever the fuck that was. Yeah,
That was
we won't go back into it.
That was a direct fucking note.
Whatever.
Like,
Could you do this again, but like more terrible?
like, stop acting.
Yeah.
Just stop.
Like, don't be good at it. Like,
Yeah.
pretend I just handed you the lines. Can you say those?
You see this tree? I need you to be as wooden as this tree.
You know what? I guess dipping back into horror a little bit. You guys a fan of the 28 years, 28 days?
I haven't seen any of them.
Oh, I love those movies.
I haven't seen them.
I've
I've
heard
heard
like a Gregorian chant.
Are you being serious?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I haven't seen them. I've always heard good things, and I like the idea that they're doing 28 days, 28 months, and then 28 years. That's just so clever. I fucking love it. So I'm gonna go watch the
I
first
do like
two.
any
I'd like a good zombie movie.
any zombie movie. Give it to me.
I got nothing more to say about that. I'm gonna fucking see it. I gotta revisit all the other ones.
Yeah, I totally have to should do a hypothetical rewatch or first watch for some of us for
that'd be fun.
for that series.
Yeah. Megan 2.0. I think they took that movie into a whole nother direction. I think it works. When I heard they were making a sequel, I was like, I don't know if there's more story to tell.
Same.
And they found a story to tell.
I did not see that change of direction coming.
I'm a
It was
fan
pleasantly welcome.
Yeah.
of genre shifting series if it needs to happen, right? Like if it's a good story that there is more to tell, then by all means, please stay within the genre. But if there's not really more of a story to tell, but people love the character or whatever, and you want to tell more, shift genres.
Pretty
Who gives
clever.
a shit? And you know, if people don't like it, they don't like it.
works
Whatever.
too,
But
it doesn't feel too forced. It just feels like it's like a solid continuation, but
Like a natural progression.
yeah.
Because the Megan 1.0, like it was solid movie. It was okay. It was nothing that like changed cinema or that genre or anything like that. But just
the
a
dance changed
you got that viral moment.
the meme
yeah.
world.
I think that's how like the teaser to the part 2 opened up was her dancing. Yeah, I'll watch that. I don't want to get away too much from. I mean, I count this as action, but in June, F1, the Formula One movie starring Brad Pitt, directed by the guy. How dare you? I'll fucking.
There's nothing nerdy about cars.
Beat the shit out of you with all
Cars
of this
are like the
equipment.
antithesis to like nerdy stuff.
That's like jock bullshit.
Yeah, jock
dude.
bullshit was like
Yeah.
cars. So I was like, can I show you my Magic the Gathering deck? I put
You
green
should-
and white together.
you
It's
should
got a
hear-
really strong mana push and then like a white weenie element to it. It's really awesome.
It's like
Look,
little
Once a season, Doug
little
has to
carbon
flex his nerd
fiber,
dick.
little carbon fiber like go karts with like Hemi engines in it, like whatever. F1.
Sorry. All right. Go
I
ahead.
know
and
I'll
talk.
your
let-
wife
I'm gonna let
likes
all
it.
that go.
I know your wife likes it. You don't have to pretend around this. You hate
it. Elva, this is for you.
circles. They go in circles.
My wife
These
likes
millionaires driving circles.
To bring it to the nerd thing.
We love you,
Y'all
Elva. We
see
just making fun of Isaac.
the Lego F1s,
Yes, that was
the
fun.
life-size ones that they
was
had at the
so
Miami Grand
fucking
Prix.
Cool.
Yeah, that was really fun.
I did get in a fight with someone who was making fun of my nerdy shit, who was a big NASCAR fan. And I'm like, really, you guys will sit there and watch 4,000 left turns, but
That's why. Yeah.
but Star Wars is beyond your comprehension. Huh? Cool.
Which is one of those things when people go F1, they just drive in circles and go, not with this. Just there's so many different variations, and every race is a new race. Every year, every day. They could be practicing today and racing tomorrow, and it's a completely different fucking race. Anyhow,
But the tracks are still the same, right? Or do they change tracks?
what do you mean? Sometimes there's streets, and sometimes it's actual track, but at
Well,
other
like,
times they'll repave.
well, I'm saying like how you say that it could be a different race from one day to the next.
Yeah.
In that day, do they like shift?
No,
the
but
track?
if the weather changes, the temperature changes.
So it's not literally a different race every day. It's just.
But I mean,
different
like, if one of
conditions.
the other drivers has a bad day, it can fuck up
So
everybody else.
I'm just trying to crawl up your ass. That's all. You feel me?
So, anyways,
a couple shots of my lord, and then we'll all be crawling.
we talked about that.
Yeah, we
Bring
talked
it up.
about doing
Bring
it.
it up.
Yeah.
The director to this was the guy that directed Top Gun Maverick, and that is crucial in this discussion because he shot the action to make it seem as if you're, right in the cockpit, because you are, as the actors were. And even though F1, for those who don't know, like the Formula One cars already have like a dozen cameras in it, so they're utilizing some of those things on top of actual cinema cameras. And I saw the latest trailer that came out. Not only did I get chills, but I got a little like teary-eyed because it felt amazing. Like there was the Gran Turismo movie that came out, I think a year and a half ago or something like that, and they did it well. Some drone shots and some interiors, whatever. But they just didn't capture that energy that movie needed, and I hope this does that.
Is it F1? There was, because there's been a couple big racing movies recently, or not, like there's Gran Turismo, and then there was like the Ferrari movie, and then F1. One of them was using a new Sony system of like, I think the lens was kind of separate from the actual camera, or like the big computing system, to enable that kind of getting a lighter unit where you needed lightness versus something. It might have been F1 that used a new camera system.
I'm sure that once Elva and I cover it, that we're gonna like pull up all the little facts and fun facts.
It is
when
fun
does that one drop? Sorry,
June 27th, end of June.
Between
So excited for that one.
like drone footage and cameras getting smaller and smaller, and like I think there is a lot of potential in racing movies being just quite amazing,
dude. When we watch the races, which is the race week this week, like they have the mounted cameras on the side, but they'll have like a fucking visor cam in their fucking visor, looking out of their lens. I go, how do you do that? And it looks great. So it's just like even just the general camera quality of the races that you're watching is amazing.
Yeah, that's really
fucking
fun.
nuts. Imagine being like, just to go off on it real quick. Imagine being like the program director of that one. It's like, how do you go like? Okay, instead of like camera one, go to camera one.
Camera 63, please. Camera 63. Okay, now bring it back to camera 102. 102, bring it in.
All right, ready? Hamilton visor cam. Go Hamilton visor cam. It's like there's so much, dude. It's involved. So I'm majorly excited for that. And
speed.
And the drug.
Yeah,
I have a need for it.
That's how they do it.
This, but this latest trailer though,
which is called Fart in Sweden.
Oh yeah.
Fucking what?
Yes,
because that's the translation.
It's called fart.
I think it's Sweden. I don't know. One of those
so the word speed means fart in Swedish.
And like I think there's jokes like their speed limit signs are fart control.
Yeah.
All right.
So, anyways, I think it's the same country where the N means or slut, right? Is translation into the end. And there's the joke about like Nemo where it ends with like the slow fade in of the end, and it just slut.
I don't know.
Isaac, do you think when Netflix takes over the F1 channel and all that stuff that
they're not taking it over, but they're doing their own take on it, and already it's not going to be as good as the F1.
Like
that was my question.
Yeah, so the way we have to watch is we actually subscribe to the F1 app itself. And
that.
Nice. I need a bell in here, just fucking ding puns.
the F?
But from that app, you're not just watching their edited stream. You can go to each driver's camera. You can look up stats, all of these things. It's majorly involved. It's amazing.
The Apple Vision,
they won't be able to do that.
The Apple Vision AR watching in the F1 races is pretty cool too.
Oh man,
like throwing on the thing. We need to put a content warning though. Content warning. We talk about racing for 3.5 minutes.
Hey, nerdum for everyone. There's this one before we move on to the next thing. There was this one dude had a man cave, and he utilized that app to its extreme and had every driver's camera, all the stats on different monitors and screens, and I just fucking.
I've seen people do that because NASCAR has a similar system. I've seen people do it with the NASCAR stuff. I'm like, that's like if that's your bag, like doing that shit is pretty cool.
Nice.
All right, let's talk about major IPs real quick.
Looks like July we hit the big stuff.
Yeah, Jurassic World Rebirth. Anybody excited for that? Beginning of July.
I mean, I'll see it. Dinosaurs.
Scarlett Johansson.
Scarlett Johansson.
We're in. Okay.
Blade.
Yeah.
The man who was supposed to be Blade.
No, I think they announced something like they are working, or he's going to show up in something. Or
and then
whatever.
another announcement come along the line.
I thought his movie was backburnered like permanently.
Yeah, no, that was an announcement, but I think I heard something.
Oh, maybe he'll just show up and
He'll be in something or whatever. Yeah,
that'd be cool.
I did hear that the
I don't even know the Blade movie. Just throw Blade into everything.
Screenwriter who wrote the original Blade was like, "Oh, y'all need some help. I'm more than welcome to come help write this movie because they've been having trouble with the script. I guess that's one of the main things. So he's like,
I'd be like, yeah,
right,
I'm available. Give me money.
you hear me knocking?
But I imagine the trouble would be not just writing a Blade script, writing a Blade script that fits into the larger story or whatever. Because at the end of the day, like that meme joke of like, when's the rest of the Avengers going to help me take on these vampires? Fuck off. Hulk could smash a few of those.
Blade is the story.
Well, the Red Hulk, because the Green Hulk is just lame now at this point. He's smart.
He's
Aw.
off-world.
I like Mark Ruffalo's.
I know, I do too.
Smaller IP,
Brady Hulk.
going back to horror. I know what you did last summer. That came out of nowhere. Was anybody asking for that? I think it's a reboot. I don't know if it's.
I heard about it. I didn't care, but I saw the trailer when we saw Thunderbolts, and I'm down with it. I
Really?
like it. Yeah.
All right, you go see it. You report back. Let us know.
I mean, the guy uses a hook, but it didn't hook me.
Back in the day, though, that was Sarah Michelle Gellar was in that, and that was exciting. That was also a movie like that came out. This is me talking old man stuff here. That movie came out when they first like kind of made a big push to actually enforce the rated R stuff. And so like I think my mom dropped me and a bunch of my friends off. And we went to try to buy tickets and they're like, "Oh, nope, you don't have an adult." And luckily like I think my mom was still like in the car, so it was like that sprint back because I was pre-cell phone. And it was just like, Mom. So she had to like go buy a ticket. She had to go buy a ticket and like walk in with us, and then she just left.
Imagine all of
So
our-
shout out to my mom for being awesome and doing that back in
We got
1993.
we acquired our young audience on the last episode. I think we just completely lost them with that.
Yeah.
Isn't so? I'm pretty sure I saw this
Buy the
trailer,
ticket.
and Jennifer Love Hewitt was in it. Was she in the originals?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, and
I don't- I-
and
utterly
Freddie
forget on
Prinze?
movies. I
is that
don't
Freddie
remember.
Prinze Jr. that
Yeah.
popped up? Yeah.
Let me look
And then what's her name? Madeline Klein from Outer Banks is in it, and I feel like she's playing the exact same character that she played in Outer Banks. She might have just be typecast to constantly play that
the
character.
1997 smash hit with Sarah
97.
Michelle Gellar, Freddie Prinze Jr., and Jennifer Love Hewitt, introducing Ryan Phillips, Anne Heche,
Ryan Felipe.
Johnny Galecki.
Nice.
Wow, that's so funny.
It was a fun setup, and like I don't know why I feel like it applies even more to today because I could see a lot of punk kids doing shit that they shouldn't do. And
That's true. A little take on it.
Yeah,
Little punk
Whatever.
kid.
It's as we get
Now-
older.
yeah.
As we get older, like fucking kids.
yeah.
Get off my lawn.
Nowadays, though, all of it would be recorded.
Now, you know what?
I know what you did last summer.
I really did know what to do.
It's on my ring
Everybody
camera.
does because it was live streamed.
Yeah. But there's no more like the calls coming from inside that, the calls coming from inside the house.
Oh yeah,
The calls coming from inside your stream.
There was a comedian, I think Troy Baker. He goes, I got a good villain voice, but my villain would just be like doing all the old fashioned stuff like, I cut the wire. But it just wouldn't work nowadays because it's like, I cut the wire. You did? I didn't even know I had a landline anymore.
yeah.
Like, just those things don't work anymore.
I blocked the router.
Smurfs, who gives a fuck?
I didn't even know. Is it animated?
Yeah, fully
Okay.
animated.
Yeah.
Fantastic
Smurfs,
Four. Have we talked about it enough? Anything new you want to add on top of?
I finally
Fantastic
watched
Four?
the second trailer.
Yeah, what'd you think?
I am with you. Like the pregnancy thing seems like a weird thing to even put in the trailer. Like I don't.
I think because we've explored the Fantastic Four so many times in movies that they're like, oh, they're just doing the same thing over again, and they needed a new hook.
Yeah.
And this
get
is that hook.
Do you guys want to know? Speaking of Fantastic Four, what that fan theory is? What's happening with the Fantastic Four ship that we got in Thunderbolt?
Show me.
Do you guys want to hear it?
Yeah.
Sorry, not show me. Tell me.
So there's a
Hold on, let me settle in for this.
there's a fan theory that says that's not the Fantastic Four in there. So they say that it's
Krasinski?
they think that it's
the
Doom,
baby?
that it's Doom coming first before they come, and then because he looks like Tony Stark in or that universe is Tony Stark, that he's gonna come and kind of fix himself in place, and then everybody's gonna
Fuck
think
with
that
everybody.
he's- Yeah,
If Tony Stark
Interesting.
Tony Stark popped out of the ship and was like, "Hey, what's up, guys?"
right.
I like that.
And was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
That
I
would
like
make
it.
a lot of sense.
So we'll see.
Because
We'll see.
people were like, wait a second. Are we then getting a spoiler to the Fantastic Four movie that it ends with them escaping into our universe? But if that's the twist, that's fun. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Overall, the
welcome,
rest of
San
that. But the
I
rest
mean,
of that.
but that's kind of a lame thing to be mad about spoiler wise because it's like the Fantastic Four aren't going to die. We know they're going to do
like
something.
We
knew
knew they
that
were
they're
going to come into the
Yeah.
universe anyway. But it's not.
So
like
we don't know
spoiled to
why.
me.
I mean, like it could be a matter of Silver Surfer being like, oh, you beat Galactus in this one, but threats are
Right.
coming into other universes. Because I think they like implied that. What's the main Reed Richards?
Yeah.
Sorry. I think they implied, Reed Richards has been like pushing the boundaries. So I'm sure he's touched on multiversal stuff. I think it'd be dumb for them not to do all that.
How dope would it be though if Galactus actually like consumed that Earth, and like they had to ship out, like they were the only ones who survived.
That'd be pretty shitty if they're the only ones that
Besides
survived.
Doom,
Like, I mean, on
Like people people like hanging off the side of the aircraft or the spaceship as they're taking off.
no one will
Like,
be there
"Save
like
us
that.
too!"
Like they
Imagine
say
the
the
song.
but like they're actually actively trying to stop Galactus and he just fail.
Ooh,
Yeah,
then
that'd
you
be
explore
interesting.
like the Survivors
that
Guild.
pains
Yeah.
It's
us.
pretty good. Yeah, I'm all
That
for
that
it.
would be very hardcore for Marvel, but I kind of like it. I dig it.
My trauma kink is activated.
Because they would show up. They would show up in the main MCU universe, I think, with such a serious tone versus what we've seen. That's about the trailer, because I know we got a lot to cover, but the special effects look good. The powers look good. We finally got to see a little bit of Reed Richards stretching. It didn't look ridiculous. Granted, he wasn't like hardcore stretching. It was just like a big stretch. Which every time he's like, oh, big stretch.
He argues back
about-
and yawn like, "Ugh."
But enough about Rudy's puns. By the way, earlier when both of you guys need to fucking learn this. When inevitably he does a bad pun, you need to just let him sit with it and rub his fucking nose in it. Okay, don't talk over it.
I love
it.
Rudy's bad puns.
Yeah, fuck you.
They're amazing.
Quick chat, Happy Gilmore. You guys excited to see that? I mean, I'm not mad at a Sandler movie.
Yeah, it's not.
Doesn't look-
It's
Gator
not
just
really.
passed away.
He
Oh,
did.
I know.
It's not really.
Morris?
It's not really a nerd movie, but I'm gonna watch it
Yeah, it's just straight to
for
Netflix too.
nostalgia's sake.
Yeah, there's a bit of nostalgia for it. And
August 1st, A Naked Gun. I'm so fucking excited for this,
Again,
dude.
not a nerd movie, but fuck yeah.
Yes.
Let's go.
Yeah.
We've been missing these types of movies, these parody movies. It's like, let's make fun of pop culture and shit like that today.
The beginning of that trailer was ridiculous. Walking in there like a little girl. That's
Liam Neeson, let's go.
like some Looney Tunes shit. That's absurd.
Bro.
yeah, because I mean,
What do you want?
we've
Your
we've questioned that before on the show of whether or not those kind of movies could work today. I do, and it looks like we're going to be testing it, right? Because we're getting this, and then they are bringing back the
Scary
scary
movie.
movies and stuff
Yeah.
like that. I do worry about like our pop culture moves a lot quicker now than what it did in the past.
yeah.
So I do like, I worry that this movie might be funny today, might be funny this year, but like 2 years from now, it's gonna, or like 3 years from now, it's gonna be like, wait, what are they referencing? So that I hope it's more general referencing and not specific.
Did I don't know if you remember the part of the trailer where the officers are sort of like that each other officer's memorial picture,
Yeah.
and the last one is a black officer, and he looks up and it's O.J. Simpson because he was in the original.
Yeah.
And he looks at the camera and goes, "We're not gonna." So that's an old ass reference. So they, I hope they're not, slowing down for people and just.
Yeah, but a double
Spitfire
murder
shit.
will never go out of style. That's always going to be a good joke.
Yeah. That is a good question.
Eventually.
I wonder how much of like Gen Alpha and even Gen Z like know the O.J. Simpson story.
So I'm curious who this movie's going to be for. I mean, like, I grew up in the 90s and I got the reference. So maybe just for us, for the millennials and elder millennials and everyone above that.
Oh,
like,
how
just fucking
refreshing
kids.
would it be if that was just aimed at, towards us and not the fucking kids?
That'd be fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
Gen Alpha would be like, what the skibbity?
Yeah. No, now I'm doubling on this movie. And if I hear one skibbity, I'm going to fucking walk out.
Oh,
This is more for the girls, but fucking Freakier Friday. You guys into the Freakier Friday movie?
That movie was fun.
That is
Yeah.
more for you.
You know,
Yes.
Lindsay
You're
Lohan,
correct.
Lindsay Lohan for all the
Come
shit
back.
that I think, like that whole time period was so rough on
Yeah.
starlets, especially, and obviously she had a rough life. But like the movies she put out were all very good. Parent Trap, Mean Girls,
Parent
Freaky
Trap's so
Friday,
great, yeah.
like
Herbie Fully Loaded?
Lindsay Lohan in her prime.
Herbie Fully Loaded?
I didn't watch that one, but probably pretty good, right?
Very good.
Her rack was fully loaded.
So yeah, we'll probably watch that.
Moving on.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Let's rack this up and move on.
Yeah. No, Anybody watch the latest trailer of Nobody 2?
I did. I watched it today. I'm excited.
It's a National Lampoon's Vacation with kick-assery.
I love the first movie.
I haven't seen
With
the
the
first
same
movie.
theme song, by the way.
Oh,
I
yeah,
haven't-
watched it.
I haven't
Oh,
seen
it's
the
worth-
first movie.
It's worth the watch.
And I saw that they're doing it too. I'm like, fuck, now I gotta watch this movie.
Homework.
It's worth the watch. I think I watched it the first time in the theater and was kind of like, all right, this is good. This is good. And then I rewatched it because I think I was showing it to my parents or something like that. I was like, this is really
I
pretty
love
fun.
these fun action, nonsensical action movies.
When I saw that it was an action movie with Bob Odenkirk, I'm like, okay.
He
And,
surprisingly kicks ass.
Bob Odenkirk and then
Christopher Lloyd.
Dude.
So
And
I'm reading
Like
this.
RZA, right? From Wu-Tang?
I'm reading this little blurb right here, and it's the man who found a criminal, blah blah blah. Connie Nielsen, Christopher Lloyd are set to reprise their roles, and I'm like, Christopher Lloyd, Connie Nielsen, and then I saw the RZA. I'm like, RZA, like, yeah,
RZA.
okay, what the fuck am I missing here?
I
I'm
think
like,
what's,
shit.
What
Now I need to watch the movie.
What sets nobody apart from a John Wick or anything else is like he gets his ass kicked just as much.
Yeah. Yes.
And it
Yes,
shows
I love that.
like it is very much like he is not a super human. He's just really good, but it's kind of a little bit more down to earth, like
He's catching hands as much as he's giving them out.
and knives and everything else.
Real quick, which was what makes Fight or Flight also fun because he gets his ass equally kicked.
Yeah, I kind of like the more down to earth.
So he's the Better Call Saul, right?
Yeah.
So it's like that.
Excuse me.
Whatever you call it. So when I found out that I know his name now, Bryan Cranston, because of Breaking Bad, but he was always the Malcolm in the Middle dad to me.
And Zordon.
And yes, and on the new Power Rangers. But when I found out that he was making, that show Breaking Bad, I was like, what?
Yeah.
That's a Malcolm in the Middle
genre.
The
dad.
dad from what?
Yeah.
Yes, I know.
But it no.
Preconceived notions.
But it works.
Stop being an asshole and watch the movie. I
It
get
just
it. I
works.
get
It
it.
just works.
I'll watch it.
There's sometimes that it works almost even better.
I've been
like,
scolded.
Like
Yeah.
Breaking Bad, them choosing the Malcolm in the Middle dad
Yeah.
to play that
Exactly,
character,
exactly.
like essentially took a sitcom dad and then put him in a very much serious drama situation, and it almost worked better. Like I don't know if Breaking Bad would have been as good if they had picked
But and he
anybody else.
transformed
Yes.
into
Because he's an amazing
character
actor.
development.
Yeah,
yeah, like
yeah.
That
he
show,
developed.
that show in particular, they knew that they had the Malcolm in the Middle dad,
Yeah.
which I think they're doing a reunion. And they like leaned into the fact that he was a Malcolm in the Middle dad, and he needs another bear. And
Just a dude in his underwear.
and then and
And a
then
green shirt.
morphed him
Yeah.
into Heisenberg.
Exactly. So when
Thank you.
I'm the one who not all the
nobody
fucking
came
lines
out, I was like, oh, that's Sal.
Not only that, Bob Odenkirk, known for comedy, is great in action, but also was surprisingly great in the recent version of Little Women. Came out of nowhere, didn't expect to see him, and there he was making me cry.
Little Women.
Little Women.
Cheers, ready?
You heard it here.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.
For Lord Shots next.
Cheers.
Oh yeah.
Okay, have you guys seen the Toxic Avenger?
I haven't.
Avenger?
I haven't watched the trailer yet.
Yeah,
I'm
I've seen the
surprised because I
It's
remember the
violent.
original movie.
Put it up.
No.
Yeah, we'll watch it.
I remember when I was very, very young, that my dad had that movie, and I think he had friends over, and they were watching it, and I like would wander into the room and see that shit, and he'd be like, "Get out of here!" And I'm like, "What the fuck?" So I have like every time I see a Toxic Avenger, I have to leave the room. So when this trailer comes on, I'm just like, no, like I can't see that.
Shame.
I can't watch it.
I think it was like one titty scene that
It's
was
a
like, oh, you
triggered
got to
memory.
leave as soon as there's. I think it was Asian titties too.
Emotional
so
damage for you.
cry.
like I
Oh, so hardly anything then.
Isaac, Master of Years. What year did the original Toxic Avenger come out?
Oh, look it up.
Let's everyone make a guess. Everyone make a guess. 86. Make a fucking guess.
Maybe yes, I see it. I have it up.
Oh, I got it too.
86.
Yeah.
I mean, I would probably
Probably more.
92.
Yeah, probably more.
Oh, nope.
I
80,
saw it.
84.
Yeah.
Oh, that was close.
Doug wins. Having a drink.
Hey! I just
So I was.
I just over to the right, and I'm on my.
81,
The trailer is so fucking gory.
I
Did
was,
you watch
I was,
the trailer?
I was 4.
No.
I was 4 or 5. So
It was
I
-6.
can understand.
Dinklage
Yeah.
is playing the Avenger himself, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
So are they like digitally making him like regular size, or is
Nope,
it
he's
just going to be
Good.
small
Yeah.
Avenger? Okay.
That's fun.
Yeah,
He walks in a room with like a big shadow, then it pans to him. No, I'm kidding.
no, that's, no,
Yeah,
that's
good.
You saw the trailer.
That's how you have to do
That's
it.
the trailer. Yeah, the star,
I think that's almost a standard now.
the star of Tiptoes, Peter Dinklage. Did you guys? Did I show you that trailer?
No, you did not.
In the early 2000s, there was a movie called Tiptoes, starring Matthew McConaughey and Gary Oldman. And
I'm working
Sorry,
on my
I have to talk about this. So the synopsis is that Matthew McConaughey comes from a family of little people. He's dating Kate
I've heard
Beckinsale,
about this. Yeah.
and then introduces him to
Kate
her to the
Beckinsale.
family.
Now I am interested.
And she's like, "You didn't tell me that your family is full of M-word little people."
yeah.
And so it's just like it's all actual little people, except for Gary Oldman, who is in little people face or whatever. He's on his knees with like his basically shoes
Good Lord.
on his knees, and like his hands behind
can
his back,
play
and somebody
anything.
puppeting.
That sounds.
Yeah.
Little people face.
Yeah.
Wow.
We need to watch that.
Yes.
We have to watch that.
I
All right, hold
After
on.
this, we'll put the trailer up.
Well, yeah, the graphic of Gary Oldman in small faces is on the screen right now for everyone who's watching.
The trailer is
Small
back in
face.
when trailers used to go, you know,
I just coin that?
so was blah 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 da, da.
Yeah.
And then they go, you know,
I hope he
starring
looked like Martin Lawrence when he played like Little Ezel, whatever his name was.
But the best part to go starring Matthew McConaughey, Kate Beckinsale, and in the role of a lifetime, Gary Oldman.
That's awesome. Good Lord. This was the 90s, right?
No, it's early 2000s, I think.
That's still
Tiptoes.
that's still within the 90s of just like,
2003.
There you go.
Yeah.
When you could do stuff like that, right, Jermaine?
the world is colorblind, so we can. The world is colorblind, so we can make fun of everybody.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
I see no color.
Holy
I
shit!
feel like-
I'm looking at the picture right now, and it's glorious.
That's awesome. We need to like add it because like there are so many moments in like movie history of just like that whole idea of the face, right? Like even going back to Breakfast at Tiffany's with
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Mickey Rooney?
Yeah.
as the Asian guy, like in what world?
Oh, he's so
And like
cute.
Breakfast at Tiffany's is like
But
not
back then
like
you
a-
weren't. But back then you weren't. Not. I'm justifying anything because he also had the Duke. What's his name?
John Wayne.
John Wayne. He also played Genghis Khan.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
like back then you weren't hiring, you know, quote unquote minorities. You were anyone who was white. You were casting them in
Yeah.
all the roles. I mean, in Shakespearean days, the men played the women. So it just
Yeah.
You didn't allow like, you know, whatever those people were at the time
True,
into those
true.
roles. Not to, again, not to
It's just-
defend
it's-
or
no, it's not. It's just
you know, next movie.
it's just shocking that even back in those days to just be like, yeah, we should have Mickey Rooney with some thick glasses and buck teeth playing an Asian guy, like and like Breakfast at Tiffany's
wild.
wasn't like a parody. I mean, you know,
No.
it was a movie with
There's
Audrey Hepburn
no
and everything like that.
need.
It was just like, oh, let's just have this ridiculous.
Oh man! But the crazy part is like, you know, even like specifically Asians in Hollywood, even if they were like Americanized Asians, like when they got cast for those roles, they were asked to do an accent.
Yeah.
Even now, and certain actors like, oh shit,
Or you
Harold and
get
Kumar. What's his name?
Scarlett Johansson play an Asian girl.
Is that? Did she?
Wasn't that the controversy with Ghost in the Shell?
Oh, I know that.
Was it her that? And then she's gotten a few roles that were just like,
Didn't
why?
Angelina Jolie play a black character?
Fuck what?
What?
Okay. Okay.
Oh,
So just
Toxic
to round
Avenger,
out the
yeah.
list, September has like a week. It's a week ending.
That's
of the
barely
thing.
summer either.
Yeah, is the Conjuring, Last Rites. Anybody kept up with any of those things? I didn't know they were still cranking them out.
I didn't know they were still cranking them out either.
I
yeah.
lost track.
They've all been decent except what you said. The Nun sucked, right?
None sucked.
Yeah,
so
and they
bad.
made 2 of those.
None 2 went full anime mode. If you're into that sort of thing, go ahead and watch it. But
Like actually animated?
no, like the
he's
way they
talking about
power up and
anime.
everything. You dumb
Like
piece of
physics defying titties.
Oh my god! Yes, you saw it.
What else do you guys watch anime?
The
for?
big one on this list, though, Downton Abbey, the grand finale.
I thought I deleted that.
That's on my list.
The Strangers Chapter 2. I guess there's some of the horror films. This is like the prequel series of The Strangers. I didn't watch the one before that.
No one liked the Strangers.
One of the WonderCons or Comic Cons or something had a big Strangers Chapter 1 set up in a booth, and I think I did the photo op and everything like that, and I felt bad. They were like, "Oh no!" I was just like, "I don't know what any of this
just one of those
is."
things, but
My brother,
I'm a fan
I think,
of movies, but it's more like a guilty pleasure for me.
yeah, my brother, I think knew or like likes one of the actresses or something that's in it, so he was like, "Oh, get a Strangers thing." I was like, "Oh, okay."
was Haley Arounthia in it?
No.
Oh, then what other person does he like? Love you, Dave. Okay, so I wanted to make some time at least to talk about, because we left a big one off of this list.
Did we?
Oh, that's right.
Some person by the name of Kal-El
Look up.
Superman.
Eyes up here.
Hey, buddy,
yeah.
eyes up here.
So the new trailer as of this recording dropped yesterday, right?
Yeah.
All right. Hit us with the thoughts. We're not doing a live reaction of this thing, but
And I dropped this in our chat, and I'll say it again here. My hype level for this movie, for this version of Superman, so far, just based on the trailers, is higher than it was for Man of Steel when that came out. And that was my hype level was pretty through the roof for that shit too. But this beats it.
This
so
was
far.
really fun.
and no, there's no 30 seconds of a dog in the thing.
Like
yeah,
I-
that little they did the initial trailer and then they did the like extended trailer that was 30 seconds of the dog, right? Like that was cute, but like oof.
It opens up with him getting interviewed.
Yeah, I thought everything about the trailer looked
Who's getting interviewed?
We know Clark. No, Superman's getting interviewed.
Also, we already know.
We
spoilers.
already know.
Clark Kent is Superman.
which was funny because when I was watching this with Rachel, she was like,
The glasses, though.
How does she know he's Superman? Ew. I was like, okay, so this is where we're coming from. Like this is established universe here. We're not starting all the way back at square one.
Yeah.
That's going to be key, I think, is the fact that we're not. Though I have already heard, like, because I watched it with my uncle, and he was like, "There's a lot going on," and then I've already seen the headlines of "There's a lot going on," or how is the movie going to handle all these characters. But like I told him, and I'll say it now, is we've seen this with trailers where it looks like there's a lot going on, but a lot of that could just be the first 5 minutes.
Correct. Yeah.
Like all these extra characters, Guy Gardner, Hawk Girl, Mr. Terrific, though it looks like Mr. Terrific certainly is in more of the movie, but like they could literally just be the first 5-10 minutes, the first opening scene, and then they go on to the bigger Superman story. Like, relax, everybody.
But what I think was crucial about that little clip of him being interviewed is that they show how emotional he is.
Yes.
Like, I think maybe the most emotional Superman we've gotten on screen.
But I don't know if it's necessary. Like, yes, it's emotion, but I think it's like, for me, anyways, like it's like in-house emotion with him and Lois because of them who they are, and he felt like quote unquote like he was being attacked, so he's kind of puffing up his chest a little bit, defending himself. I don't know if he was outside of the house, would he act like that? But that scene, how do you guys feel about his Superman voice? That was the main thing.
Oh, I love that
Miss
switch.
Lane.
Good
Yeah,
turn.
yeah.
It felt like an homage to the Christopher Reeves and I forget who played Lois Lane. Damn, I heard the name earlier.
Margot Kidder.
Thank you. That whole scene, it's a takeoff of that, an homage to it. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
and with that fucking score is gorgeous throughout the whole thing.
You got to be
And I
Kidder.
will say this: so you have all the other Superman movies besides Man of Steel. All the other Superman movies were one of those things like where you watch this movie and Superman doesn't really throw like a punch. So now everybody's saying Man of Steel, oh, it's too much action. He's fighting too much, the destruction. Now it's, oh, there's too much going on in the trailer. When you watch the original Superman, like he's like literally like barely fighting like anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just one of those things that people are always gonna criticize.
Like,
criticize,
I've got a little bit of a
criticize.
lot of stuff.
I would say
Just
this
shut up,
trailer
everyone.
did have
Damn.
the trailer
hold
did
on.
have a lot going.
Go ahead. One more.
Oh, you want me to say it again?
Yeah.
Everyone, just shut up.
Had to be said.
Fudge, man. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
What are we doing
I
here?
Agree. But the trailer did have a lot going on, and us in the nerd realm have known since the announcement that James Gunn was taking over that he was going to hit the ground running with an established universe and all that. Anyone that's not part of that nerd realm that it doesn't listen to our podcast and everything else, they're probably blindsided by a whole lot of characters that they don't recognize and they don't know. But again, like, and we've talked about this where I feel like maybe at some point, and this is me maybe talking shit, and I don't mean to offend anybody, but it's like, I feel like at some point, like, people forgot how to just watch a movie. Like, look, like, yeah, there's a lot going on. Watch it. Like, James Gunn, this isn't his first rodeo. This isn't his first movie.
Well,
like, it might look overwhelming at first, but like, watch the movie and it's probably not going to be that overwhelming.
Well, to the point off mic, we were talking about that they fixed. You just did it right now, yeah. the blink when he gets hit in the head with the paper cup. Like, people are hyper analytical, which is great. I mean, it shows the passion and the love for they have for the property. But people, calm the fuck down.
Sorry. Yeah. On that same topic, not Superman, but I think I just saw a headline recently of just like 89 details that were in the GTA 6 trailer. Like, who the fuck is watching a trailer for a video game? And
But
you
that's
point
the
out
people-
89 details.
Those are the people that are like, brought to you by Magic Mind. You know, probably something.
Anytime any type of trailer comes out, there's going to be screen grabs, people
Absolutely.
breaking it down, slow mo. You know, they're using all this material. It's just pretty much for content. You know, you have to not have to, but if you're somebody who makes videos or some type of show like ours, you have to have some type of content for something to talk about, and
daily, right? If you want the algorithm,
it always seems but it always seems like it's always like negative stuff. It's not positive stuff.
That's
like
what gets the clicks.
Yes,
like negative shit
exactly.
gets the
Like,
clicks.
it's always the negative stuff. Like, you never hear any of the positive things, in news media too. But it's people are gonna snowball it,
But
then everybody's gonna jump on it.
We sat here and polished Zack Snyder's balls. I didn't get no phone call, no DM, no like, hey, thanks guys. Like, so we're going fucking negative now.
Zach? I defended
What
you.
Wait, hold on.
What is he
Before
doing now? Mowing lawns? What is he doing?
Before we move off, there's a lot going on. I think maybe they're just trying to get in front of that whole narrative that there's a lot going on. If they introduce all these characters now in a big fucking run up and then like do like little profiles up into the movie, they can catch up the regular people who don't know who these people are, and then you're still giving the hardcore fans,
which they're doing.
Ooh, look at all the shiny
vehicle called Peacemaker, which you have Guy Gardner and Hawk Girl.
Yeah, that's true.
Featured maybe in like a small.
But that
thing.
comes out after this movie, right?
Ah, shit. Then my shit's out the door.
Sorry. The trailer just dropped, but I'm pretty sure the
I thought it was a June release.
Yeah, today.
And it's one of those things like we always talk about. Yes, there's a lot of characters, but we can get into, if you want to know, the origin of where all these people come from. You can get into it later on. You don't need everything to be a origin story right out the gate.
So I don't know if it was Kevin Feige or whatever, or MCU itself had said that, like, all right, we know we're kind of going into this era where it's just for the fans, right? Which is different from how Marvel started, which is like we're introducing people that don't know the comics, that don't know these characters, into these things, and then mashing them all together. But now we're at a point where it's like, oh, we've left the casuals behind a long time ago. This Gunn universe is just establishing right from the get-go, like, no, it's for the fans. If you know those people, let's go. Now, I'm curious, though, for those who don't know Guy Gardner or Hawk Girl or anyone else, Mr. Terrific, right? Mm-hmm. That I wonder if they're going to get. I wonder if they're going to kind of spoon feed some stuff to them. I'm very curious how they're going to handle that.
I think because anyone that knows the comic books recognizes that Hawk Girl, Mr. Terrific, and Guy Gardner are wearing a uniform costume that is not their typical one, right? And we've talked about this on the show, because I think after the first one, the going theory is that they're working for Lord, right? Mm-hmm. Maxwell Lord, and that's his like they're a team for him. And so, like, I assume there's gonna be at least a quick breakdown. We're probably not gonna get the origins of Guy Gardner being a replacement for Hal Jordan and stuff like
Right.
And even Hawk Girl, which who knows what story they're going to go with that, because I think the Hawkman and Hawk Girl stories has changed so much in the DC universe.
Is Sean Gunn playing Lord?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and they established that in the trailer for that for Peacemaker. So I'm sure we'll get a little bit of a breakdown enough. And I hope they trust the audience that they don't speed feed us. And I hope the audience recognizes like you don't need to know the full backstory for these characters. But who knows? Because going back to what you were saying about Marvel, because the same day that they released the Superman trailer, they released the trailer for Ironheart, which looked good. But I still felt like they were just going. I mean, even though they already introduced her in Black Panther 2, this series looks just like another like origin story. Even though they already introduced her, it's like here's another origin story, and we're going back to that same safe like story, because origin stories are always going to be a easier story to tell. But
as far as Ironheart, I'm glad you brought that up. You had mentioned like it could be good depending on how they're handling the rest of the world, the rest of the universe. And then I mentioned that it was confirmed. Yeah, they're introducing Mephisto, which is basically the MCU devil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But will they continue that into the larger story, or is he going to
stay tuned?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Will he survive this series, and then
Like to
like maybe the
introduce you.
Young Avengers will face him? Maybe, I don't know.
I'm gonna introduce Isaac to Mephisto later.
Oh,
I am shaved and ready to go.
There has to be. Hold on, I'm sorry. There has to be a fucking middle ground somewhere in in all this where
Why
like
is it small,
where
though?
we can introduce a new take on a universe without having to like fucking like bring everyone up to speed and like but still try to cater to the hardcore. There has to be somewhere.
I've said
we
it
can slot this
before,
in.
where I think for whatever reason, superhero movies like are different to people, and I don't know if it's like, I don't want to say the word jealousy, but like obviously it's a genre where there's going to be some people that know more than others, right? Especially with more niche characters, more secondary characters or whatever. And so like I don't know if like that's intimidating to people or something, but like I've always said, it's like you take any movie, any action movie, right? I don't know, for whatever reason, Saving Private Ryan's popping up in my head. Like there was that sniper dude. No one cared about the backstory of the sniper dude. They accepted him as like, oh, this is the guy that's good with guns, right? Or like any story. Even when you look at old Star Wars, it's like you didn't necessarily care about Han Solo's backstory. It was just like, oh, this is a pilot. He's got like the fastest ship, and he's got a giant dog for a sidekick. Like any other movie, I think people are fine with it. But you take a superhero movie and you introduce a new person in a suit, and there's this like weird like, how do you get his powers, or what's his thing, or like what's his backstory?
I think that it's weird. It's the recipe that just goes along with superheroes because of the stories you got in the comics. That's how everything kind of started. So that's why most people always expect a origin story, because you can pick up any comic book from number one. It's necessarily always going to be a origin story. Something bad happens to the hero, they got powers, and then from this day, this thing happened, and then the rest of the story is always from here on out. This is what happened because of this particular moment. So I think it goes hand in hand with superheroes, but I think a lot of people have to try to let that go. And then to add to that as well, it's there's always going to be a mix like feelings for these characters, because like I'll give you a perfect example, which we've kind of talked about all this stuff before. But when you watch the Thunderbolts, right, and then they announce them as the Avengers, and as the credits roll, you have the people's voice out there. Like you get the news articles,
Great.
not my Avengers, like
Love that part.
you're gonna have, regardless of what it is superhero wise, for some reason you're never gonna please everybody. Because even with Man of Steel, we've been talking about this movie for forever, and there's everybody, that's not my Superman, like everybody has their own thing. Like even with Luke, I was about to say Luke Skywalker because I'm talking about Mark Hamill, but he's Luke Skywalker to me. But it's just how he talks about Luke Skywalker in,
Oh, right.
what was the title of that?
The Last Jedi.
Yeah, The Last Jedi. He himself said, he was like, that's not Luke Skywalker. He was like, I tried to talk to the studios. You know, he was like, Luke would never give up. You know, like Luke would find a way, you know, something. But it's just, you know, what was written. And he feels, you know, he's like, I would know Luke, and I don't think Luke would go that direction. So it's one of those things, like, I'm just saying, like, everybody's gonna,
like,
everybody's gonna say,
Blue milk.
like, even with this Superman movie, the movie could be good. I hope it's good, because we really need the DC, you know, to take off with Superman, of course, you know, no pun intended. But there are going to be those people out there, even if the movie's good, great, whatever. There's going to be those people that I don't like the suit. I don't like the Superman.
So DC, we've talked about DC will always suffer because all of these characters, at least the main characters, have had so many different iterations already that people will compare Superman to the animated series, the old movies, the new movies, the comic books, the video games. Superman's been done so many times, all differently.
I think the difference in this, though, is the passion in which James Gunn has spoken about the stories themselves, the writing. Like, we're not fucking hitting the green light on any production unless we know that we're telling the right story that feels good. That's it's like, thank fucking God. It's like a you know, Marvel going like, well, we're gonna slow down with the quantity and focus on quality. Yeah, duh.
Yeah, should have been doing that to begin with.
What the fuck, you know? So for Gunn to say that, like, yeah, all these other higher ups, whatever, he goes, no, I'm at the helm now, and I want good stories, and these good stories are going to happen. So whether or not, you know, Matt Reeves' Batman 2 is going to come out or whatever,
hit him with that Anakin Skywalker meme.
But with like technically the first introduction to the Gunverse or whatever we want to call
Creature
it.
Commandos was the first.
Creature Commandos.
Creature Commandos was technically the first one. Yeah,
exactly. How'd you feel about it?
I love Creature Commandos. Fucking amazing. Not too many people probably watched it.
That
Little
was good.
Superman is really going to be the first introduction.
Just a little sprinkling of like Gunn's like, look, here's what I'm doing.
Yeah, and it was amazing. So I'm excited.
Hewing back to the trailer a little bit. How do we feel about Nicholas Hoult?
I love Nicholas Hoult.
Like, he's
Love me some Holt.
Yeah.
like I've heard people be like, it's Lex Luthor, the whole bald look. Like, people weren't about it, but
He's bald now.
like,
that's the
I
point.
think he did like a really good job in in the trailer, at least, of looking like Lex Luthor, or like embodying Lex Luthor.
OG stories
And
from
he
like
also has a lot of emotion in this, like from the prior trailer that we've seen. Like, he's emitting a lot of emotion too. So we got Superman and him as well. So.
OG story from like decades ago, right? Wasn't it something that Superman did that caused Lex Luthor's baldness from the
As
comics?
like Superboy.
That X-ray vision.
I think I could be wrong. But I think like Superboy, when Superman was younger, Lex had a lab or whatever, and he kind of, I think something happened in the lab, and you know, Superman came, and
Oh my God, he has radioactive jizz.
he probably used like
Blew his hair
breath,
off.
like he probably
yeah.
like he used his super breath or whatever, and he mixed, you know,
Whatever,
and he just became
Fades
bald.
away.
Like, I don't know. Like I said, I could be wrong.
Would you guys just mature up just a little bit? We're having a serious conversation
sorry.
about Superboy
here on the hype attack?
Here on the Hypertech. Yeah.
Serious?
This is insane. You guys are just
but honestly,
He's
He's
trying
like
to wipe
a
it off
really
his
powerful-
face, and he just hair.
yeah.
He's like, oh, my hair.
And they sampled that to make Nair,
Sorry.
the hair removal lotion. No, but yeah. So my point was that his baldness almost works better if it's not a natural looking bald. Like I don't know. I think everything about this trailer. I think his character looks really good. Even though I was just making fun of like the super detailed look at a trailer, I was happy because so if you guys remember, the first teaser we got of Superman was that still image of him putting on his boots while there was some like alien thing in the background. And that was the joke of just like, this thing's destroying the city. So I don't know if you guys noticed, they showed that clip at the end and it was him and Lois like kissing or hugging or whatever while that thing was in the background. But you could see Guy Gardner, Green Lantern, had like netted it.
How you liking?
I didn't look that close. I saw. I remember
watched it
seeing
three
it
times now.
I remember seeing it like do like some kind of thing. Like I was going and I'm like, oh, so it's not like it's not a threat. But I didn't see.
I watched it on my phone once, and I watched it twice on my TV. And so this last time watching it, I saw that last little bit, and you could see it's a green net around it. So those two, like, so any complaints about him like fucking around with Lois while like the league or whatever we're calling them has.
I know you're a big Guy Gardner fan. How are you liking it so far? You mentioned about his construct.
The construct looked really good.
Yeah.
I mean, we only saw the little bit, the little
hand
flick of the wrist, the hand coming out of the sand. I thought it looked really good. It didn't look too cartoony.
I was a fan of the hand coming out of the sand. Sorry.
Yeah, and I hope because like Guy Gardner's like so. I mean, there's a whole bunch of Green Lanterns, right? And specifically human Green Lanterns. There's 6 or 7 now at this point, and they all have like different constructs, different formations of it, and I hope they explore that.
Green Lanterns in formation.
Yeah. So I don't know. I thought that was cool. I like the way that the scene worked. It also just shows like how powerful Green Lantern can be.
Oh, and we got another glimpse at Frank Grillo as Rick Flag Sr. Like he voiced Rick Flag Sr. in the Creature Commandos. And I was like, oh, he's gonna.
Yeah, because we saw him in the
Peacemaker trailer.
Peacemaker trailer.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah,
Frank Grillo, good for him, man. Talk about people jumping over from MCU into DC.
The chick with the spinning blade hands,
the engineer
with Lex Luthor, the engineer.
Yeah. I think she's the engineer. Yeah,
who dat?
Never mind.
I'm really. I was like,
is that Mercy? Is that his Lex Luthor's personal bodyguard?
Along those lines,
he was an android in one of the series. I don't remember.
I was going to make a video of just like going through the characters that I know and don't know for the hype back. I think a toy did confirm because like in the trailer you see Superman, and I think this was one of like the leaked footages. You see Superman getting like arrested, and there's the dude with the U.
Yeah, Ultraman
I think
or whatever it is.
The toys have confirmed that's DCU's Ultraman.
Just crazy.
So
like I need them to explain that to me.
Yeah, because Ultraman is Earth 3 Superman, where Earth 3 is the reverse, where Superman's evil.
Yeah.
What do they call him? The crime syndicate or something?
Yeah,
like
the
that?
crime syndicate. Yeah. So if that's Ultraman and he's in some suit, like we could assume there's going to be some reveal, which I feel like it's too early for that shit. So, but again, so maybe we'll see Ultraman in a few movies before we reveal that he's something, or they're going to just play off on the name.
And we'll have to wait until July 11th.
Yeah, I'm really excited for it. Like we said, DC I think has a lot of great characters and a lot of great stories to tell. We will always be saddened that we didn't get to see Snyder's vision come to life.
Yeah,
and we've talked plenty of that on this show.
Do you think they'll drop a couple more trailers?
I don't want to see any more at this point.
Between now and July, I hope not.
Right?
Oh, there'll be a third. There's always a third.
Well, the first one was the teaser. This is like the first full official.
Yeah.
So I mean, they could probably
there'll
drop
be the
another,
second where they reveal way too much, and
there'll be like 6 TV spots with like just slightly newish footage.
I hope Gunn has a little bit some control on that, where he can, just I don't know. I don't want to see too much in trailers. I don't want to.
I think we've seen enough.
I don't want to be like when we were talking about Fantastic Four and like
June, July,
Sue Storm being pregnant. Like that was the Red Hulk. Or I hope that wasn't like the Red Hulk moment.
Yeah.
I don't want that. It's like let's save.
Like
some
she's
stuff
pregnant with the Red Hulk. What the fuck?
Is she?
Maybe the movie's set. Maybe they're setting us up for just like it's going to be a pregnancy movie.
It's too.
It's just like her
It's a
morning sickness.
It's a road trip movie.
It's gonna be like 3 guys and a baby or whatever.
I think we're too close to the movie at this point. So stupid. I think we're too close to the movie at this point to have another full trailer, like a month and a half.
Yeah,
we've been surprised
like
before.
I could live off this trailer.
It probably depends on how well
weeks.
this movie. It depends on how well this trailer
is received.
Was received,
and
I think so.
I haven't heard too many bad things about this so far. I hate that that's our measurement now. It's like it wasn't absolutely trash, so people kind of liked it.
Yeah, check the YouTube likes and dislikes.
Movie at Comic-Con.
Ooh.
I wish they had like a panel.
It's going to be before. Right? Is it that same weekend?
Originally, we were going to go down there because we're not doing Comic-Con, but we were originally going to go down there. We're not going to. we wanted to see it with like the way we saw Deadpool Wolverine. Like we wanted to see it with a Comic-Con crowd.
Oh yeah,
But unfortunately, we're not going to San Diego this year.
that sucks for you.
It's July 11th anyway. I mean, that would be
Oh
two
yeah,
more-
so it's well before.
2 more weeks.
We're seeing it
at
all
least.
together, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure we'll work
Maybe.
that out. Yeah.
Well, when we say all together, we don't include Jermaine in that anymore.
Yeah, no shit.
Oh, honestly, the first 2 weekends of July, I'll probably be at the river. So it might it'll have to be like middle of the week.
down at the river.
Sorry. Yeah.
All righty. We'll wrap it up.
Down in the van by the
Good
river,
places, any?
Yeah.
A lot's happening.
Wait, was
this
anyone
summer.
was anyone hyped for anything?
That was
Oh,
it.
that's-
Nope, that's it.
No, nothing to say. I beat Claire Obscure. It's an amazing game. Play it.
I'm gonna drop a large video of what I'm hyped about on all the Star Wars between May 5th and now. As soon as I wrap Andor personally, because I wanted to do like a 5-minute video of me just deep throating everything Star Wars.
Yeah.
Just
Can you do, Jesus? Can you do it over?
Bald.
I was gonna say, can you do it over time as your hair changes to darker color? Jermaine.
Oh no. Continue.
One thing, comedian Tom Segura just dropped a Netflix series called Bad Thoughts. For anyone who likes, 16 minutes of 3 or 4 like skits and shorts that are well done but really dark and demented. If you know Tom Segura, that's an easy series to watch. There's 6 episodes. They're all about 16 minutes each. So that's over an hour and a half total. A lot of fun and a lot of penis humor.
Oh, now I know why you like it.
Especially that last skit. My God.
Uh-huh.
Cool.
That's
All right.
Land the plane, motherfucker.
All right, put a button on it. So follow us on social media because we're going to be putting out more news and everything else going on that we didn't talk about here today. That's why we have our social media at the Hype Attack on Instagram and TikTok. And again, if you've gone this far without watching us, what is wrong with you? No judgment. But you can watch the full video episodes at the Hype Attack on...
At the Hype Attack Podcast.
At the Hype Attack Podcast on YouTube. So youtube.com/the Hype Attack Podcast. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. Like, review, and all the other fun stuff because, we want to get a little popularity going on. I want to quit my day job.
I don't care about it.
I want to quit my day job, please.
This is going to be a springboard for me, actually editing and producing other people's shit.
By the way, you're getting better every fucking episode. So do yourself. Oh, sorry, one
Stop
second.
it. No,
listeners,
stop it. No.
Listeners, do yourself a favor. Look at this guy's handiwork. It's fucking fantastic.
Quick, before we wrap this shit up, I had footage of my niece's last softball game, and my wife asked me to cut some of it. So I'm like, all right, pull the laptop out, and I start moving stuff, and I'm like, let me zoom this in. And Rachel's just watching me like, you're really good at this. I'm like, don't patronize me, goddammit. You sound just like Isaac right now. Stop it.
You are, man. Seriously,
Anyway.
I praise you a lot, but I shall praise you this time because I'm about 4 beers in. So let's fucking go.
Only 4?
Let's get into the summertime.
I'm only 2.
Until then, same bad
9.
time, same
high
literally
channel.
Son of a bitch.
Attack.